Good morning, America. Good night in Bangladesh. Welcome to Sahil's live show. Before I start the show, I want to wish everyone Eid Mubarak from me and every other Muslim person in the world. We hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hope you guys ate a lot of good food because I'm definitely going to eat some tonight. So, without me wasting any more time, let me introduce the guest. He's a stunt coordinator. He's an actor. He's an action director who's worked in so many great films we've known. It's like Transformers, Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones, Inception, and he worked with stars like Sylvester Stallone and Leonardo DiCaprio as well. And many more surprises will come as we're talking. So, without me wasting any more time, let me introduce Phil Tan to the stream.
What's up?
What's
How
up,
are
Mr.
you?
Tan? How are you doing?
Good, man. Good to see you. Thank
Good to see
God
you as
I
well.
can hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you as well, and
Sorry to
it's a
the
great
audience.
day.
Last time, we had some technicality with the sound, but it's great. I could hear you clearly. You can hear me clearly. That's a good start already.
Yeah, that's a great start. Last show we had a very tough time hearing each other. The audience obviously probably had a horrible time hearing us as well, but it's a better timing for the Bangladeshi audience as well, and it's a great day for us because it's sunny outside. It's beautiful weather.
It's
It's a
sunny outside in
holiday.
Los Angeles too. Beautiful, sunny,
Really?
85-degree, beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, that's Los Angeles, though, Mr. Tan. This is
Yes,
Los Angeles is beautiful, man. I love it. I want to visit one day.
you got to come. Yeah, you
Yes,
guys will love it. Yeah, it's
yes.
beautiful.
And so, thank you for coming onto my show once again, Mr. Tan. The purpose of me creating this show is to inspire the audience. Uh, people don't have people don't have anything to do during this time, honestly speaking. So they don't have any inspiration or they don't have anything they want to see during this time. So I created a platform where I can inspire the audience, engage audiences from both Bangladesh and America to come together and watch a show that can inspire them.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, I like what you're doing. You're doing a good thing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tan. So, are you ready to start the show?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do this.
All right. So, Mr. Tan, we all know that you were born in Singapore, right? And
Yes.
spent 5 years there before you came to the UK. So,
Yeah.
what was the reason that you guys moved to the UK?
Okay, so we moved there to for education. My dad at that time he had a shop. It's a very famous shop. It's called Marco Polo, and my uncle was the House of Tang. In Orchard Road. It's a very famous department store. Anyway, my dad decided we should go there because you know uh, education. He wanted us to be educated, and so he moved like a lot of the family over there. But there was a couple of us didn't go, the younger one.
Yeah.
And so we stayed in Singapore. Um, Later on, anyway, I'll talk about it later on because there's going to be a movie now about my life, which my son is going to direct and star in. And that was like, I'm giving you heads up so you guys know. That was 2 days ago. That was a decision was made that he gave me a birthday present, which is a script about my life. He wrote a whole script about my life story on my 60th birthday, which was amazing. I'm very honored that he wanted to do it. I didn't think that my life story was that interesting. He said, no, it's very interesting. I watched you do all your stuff that you do, and achieving. I have 3 national title in 3 different sports, and anyway, so that was the reason we went over there to the UK, and it was great. We started a chain of restaurant called Singapore Garden or Singapore Restaurant, where he started with his grandmother, and they expanded, and we won best Asian food or best Chinese food in the UK 2 years in a row. That was a big deal, when you got considering how many thousands of restaurants across the country, to win, it's amazing, right? So good food, and anyway.
Yeah, it's like I definitely agree with your son because you had a 40-year career involving so many great memories, so many great achievements. You know, winning national titles, which we're obviously going to talk about now. So, Mr. Tan, you've started tumbling at a young age, right? So, what inspired you to go into tumbling? Like, what got you attracted to the sport?
Okay, so I went to school, and I'm always been like a very physical person. Some people are
Yeah,
very, like a lot of Asian, are very academic driven, right? Because their parents want you to have a good education. And what I wanted to do, for me, it was like, uh, I want to be in the physical, challenge world, which is like sports. That's kind of what I wanted to do. So when there was a gymnastic class in my school, I took up gymnastics. So
yeah,
I would train like 5 days a week, and with my coach Evan Tuck, who eventually went on, our school and our team went on to win 7 national team title. Adam Shield in the UK, and then from that, the one of our team member went on to coach the Olympic, like recently, the last Olympic, and won gold um, in the Olympic, which is just unbelievable. I literally just cried because I said, you know what, we are at the bottom. Every competition out of 50 countries, UK is like 49. But
yeah,
I knew that if we had more time to train, and we were, at the time, we weren't sponsored by the government. You had to pay for your own training. You had to pay for your own tickets to represent the UK. Like, we represent the UK in Berlin. We had to pay for our own stuff, which, it's ridiculous, that the government didn't sponsor anyone. And they said, oh, well, that's amateur. I said, well, America is sponsoring people to go in the Olympic, you know what I mean? And other countries, why are we not doing it? Why
yeah,
are the government not helping at least pay for our expenses, right? I know it's a amateur game, and they wouldn't do it. And I knew that we were as good as any other country, and we were able to win gold in gymnastics. So it was like many, many years later, like literally like 30 years later, we started winning Olympic gold medal for the UK when it went to London. Because then the government said, all right, we're going to pay for people's training. You're going to train 8 hours a day, like the Americans, like the Chinese, like the Japanese, and every other country. And then winning, when I saw that, it kind of, it was very happy for me to see, and I cried because I said, that could have been me. If they'd have sponsored me, I would have won the gold medal. But instead, we won gold medal in the UK, and we competed, for many years. And then I broke my hand when I was 18, and I gave up gymnastics. But that was my passion. And Evan Tuck, who's my gymnastic coach, was an incredible inspiration to me and many, many other athletes in my school, which is unheard of, because he was just doing it for free. He was just, teaching. And then I think Gary Oakes won the hurdlers in the Olympic, and he won, actually, he got a bronze medal. So there's little school, we got all the gymnastic competition. We won cross country national championship. We won swimming national champion. We won gymnastic national championship, all from one coach. So all we needed was one teacher believing in the athlete. And our school was rough. It was like the roughest school in the UK. But people love sports. They love boxing. We had national champion boxers in there. And so, that's all it takes. One person believing can now bring about 30 years later winning gold medal in the Olympic for gymnastics. That's unheard of. It's like Bangladesh winning gold medal in gymnastics.
yeah.
That's what it's like, really. I'm just saying, it's like anyone could do it. You know what I mean? And it just takes somebody inspiring you to do it, to become world champion.
Absolutely. You can't just become you just can't become world champion overnight. You have to have inspiration. You have to have someone behind you, great coaching, and that's how champions are made. And also, not only that, I've also grown up with a quote always when I play sports. My coach used to always tell me, in order to win, you must know how to win, and in
Yeah.
order to know how to win, you must lose, so you can learn from your mistakes. So I kind of believe that one as well. But I mean, it's okay you didn't really achieve a lot in tumbling, because you've also achieved a lot in taekwondo and disco dancing, winning national championships in those. So can you tell me more about those two sports?
Yeah, sure. So what happened was after I gave up gymnastics, um, I met a coach and one of my friend, and he was doing taekwondo, and I wanted to learn more about it. So I started taking taekwondo, and within like a short period of time, like literally 2 years or so or three, we won London Championship. Then I went to the national, and I knocked a bunch of people out, and then I became the national champion. And as much within like 2-3 year period, because I already had the physical ability in gymnastic, obviously, and then I put as much work as I did in training taekwondo, as I did in gymnastic. I put it into taekwondo, and then I became the national championship. And they wanted me to go to the Olympics, so they asked me if this is '87. They wanted me to train for a whole year, and again I said, oh, okay, but you have to go to Lily Shaw national training for 1 year. You have to leave your home and go and train there 8 hours a day. So I said to them, well, who's going to pay for my house and housing and mortgage? And I had a house at the time in London, and they said, well, that's not our problem. You have to figure that one out. I said, well, you don't want me to work. I have no money coming in. You want me to train for 1 year to enter the Seoul Olympic, and that's how is that going to happen? That's not our problem. That's your problem. So I decided not to do it because no one's going to pay my bill. So I decided just to go into, making movies. So anyway, I'm just saying this to you because this is how crazy it is that the government don't sponsor you. And the guy that I beat, he went on to win. I think he was fourth place. So I beat him, and the second guy went to the Olympic, and he came fourth. So I could have got at the very least a bronze medal. But I believe if I'd have trained 8 hours a day, I could have probably got the gold because I was very, very aggressive. And but it was not easy to beat the Korean in their first game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You literally have to knock them out. Oh, they're out. Oh, you won. But if you don't knock them out, you're not going to win. But they were amazing. These Koreans are like amazing fighters. So then I went from that to after I finished taekwondo. I started dancing because I had a bet, and I wanted to get into British acting.
Yep.
So in order to get in, you can't just say, "Oh, I want to be an actor." That's not how it works in the UK. You have to have, in those days, now you can do it. You can just say, "I want to be an actor." You can get a job and become an actor. In those days, you have to get 40 weeks of contracts to be a actor in the UK, which is British equity. Okay, so it's 40 weeks. And if you do 1 day, if you got one contract, it's 1 day. So you have to have 5 contracts, which makes 1 week. So I had 40 weeks of work. So I'm like, how am I going to do that? He said, well, that's not our problem. So I created a show called Hot, Slick, and Cool and the Disco Maniacs. And we did clubbing. We club, So I did like martial art, acrobatic, gymnastics, dancing show in nightclubs. So I did like, I don't know how long, 2 years or something. We ended up being on top of the pops. And then I had a bet to win, the British Disco Dancing Championship. There was a competition and you could win $5,000. And a black guy said to me, hey, Asian people can't dance. You ain't going to do nothing. You guys are terrible dancers. And I said, what are you talking about? If I train, I could be good. And he go, no, you guys, you got no rhythm, It's like a cliche of what Asian can do or what they can't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crap. Anyone can dance, right? It doesn't matter, you can't dance. Oh, really? Look at all the Indian movie. Amazing dancers, right? But but it's years ago they said that, oh yeah, you can't dance. It's rubbish. It's just, look, you can be anything you want to be. All you got to do is put the effort and training. So I went into training of a 100-pound bet. And 6 months later, I won £5,000 and won the British competition. So now I have 3 national titles in 3 different sports. But in disco dancing and dancing, I had 7 national titles, different titles, It depending on what drink, Carling Black Label is sponsoring. Pontin is sponsoring $5,000, and then I entered the British Disco Dancing Championship. So it got me to travel around the world, right? You're getting and get paid, and then I became a member of the British Equity. And as soon as I got that, I started, training. I trained 3 years in acting school, and then I trained to be stuntman. So you got to train 3 years to be a stuntman. Then you become a provisional member after 3 years, and then 5 to 7 years you become a full member. And then you become a stunt coordinator. So it was a very difficult journey. It wasn't like, oh yeah, you want to be a stuntman, I'm just going to throw myself over a building. That's not how it works. You got to have like 7 different disciplines, and you got to be good at all of them, right? 6 different ones. You can't just go, I have 6 different martial arts. That's not going to work. you got to be like, hey, one guy might pick motorbike, one guy might pick driving, one guy might pick, diving, and gymnastics, or so all different category. You can't just be good at one thing. So the British stuntmen are very, very good. You know what I mean? I'm not saying other places are not good. Americans are amazing, but Americans tend to specialize in, say, 1 or 2 things or 3 things. But the British overall, they're very, very good because of the difficulty of getting into the union.
And in today's generation, you have to be very versatile in anything you do, right? Like you said, you in stunt coordination, you cannot know what to do. Like you cannot know how to do one thing, because if you know how to do one thing, then that's not going to work. People look for versatility. People look for that charm. So you being versatile and winning and participating and winning in so many sports, and then you training for this, coordination and everything. It required a lot of training, and it required a lot of blood and sweat going to this.
Yes.
So talking about, you said how you prepare yourself to go into films, right? You go into acting, you took some acting classes, and you participate in other sports. So like, did taekwondo and tumbling in general like really inspire you or like influence you to go into, stunt coordination and action in films?
Yes, I mean, because it's what I enjoy, and my first movie was, I went for an audition, and the audition, basically, it says in the newspaper, you got to be Asian, Chinese, you got to be like short, you got to do gymnastic, you got to do martial art, you got to be able to dance, and you got to be able to act. This is what it says in the newspaper. And I said, hey, I can do all that stuff. I'm going to apply. And I thought it was going to be a lot of people there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just me and my brother and like a couple of other people. And he said, can you do gymnastics? I said, yeah, look, I'm just flip. Can you do martial art? Yep. Can you do dancing? Yep. Oh, you can act too. Oh, okay. Well, now you got the job. I want you to, I haven't got the job yet. I had to go to Paris to meet with Peter Sellers. It was a movie called Fu Manchu with Peter Sellers and Helen Mirren and a bunch of great actors in the UK. And so I went there and I auditioned for Peter Sellers in Paris. And I didn't even know, what he looks like at that time. I wasn't looking at movies and stuff like that, although, he obviously he's the star of Pink Panther and very, very big actor. And he was like, sitting there, and they told us like, he's not coming, he's late and he's not coming. And we're waiting for like an hour. And then he said, just go downstairs and wait, and me and my brother, we just went downstairs and wait. And there was a guy there, an old man, and he goes, hello, monsieur, who are you waiting for? I said, oh, I'm waiting for Peter Sellers. And he goes, I am Monsieur Sellers. And I said, yes, and I'm Bruce Lee. And he goes, you're very funny, monsieur. Anyway, he said, anyway, I heard he's, because I thought he was just some French guy. I said, I heard he's a bit strange. Peter said, oh, how so, monsieur? Well, I was told, don't look at him in the eye. Don't wear purple, it's bad luck. Don't do this, don't do that. They named 10 different things not to do. And I said, if Peter Sellers don't like me, Peter Sellers can get lost. I'll go back to the UK, And he's like, oh, you're very funny, monsieur. Anyway, it turned out he was Sellers. He was doing an impression of the chauffeur that was picking him up. And he was auditioning me. And he goes, I like you. You got the job, mate. And he goes, all right, mate, you got the job. And I went, oh, you're Peter Sellers? He goes, yeah. I said, I'm not fired then. They don't call fired in LA. They say in London, they go, you got the sacked. So you go, no, you're good. you're good. You got the job. That's how I got a job. I worked with him for 1 year, and I made a ton of money. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is good. I'm doing physical stuff that I enjoy. I'm in the film industry, for the first time, and I really like it. This is something I want to do. So that's kind of like what started it all up, And then I came home to the UK, and I said, yeah, this is what I want to do. I think I'm going to pursue this career,
Yeah. And it was it was really interesting journey, because you started in acting first. Like, you've acted in the first couple of films in 1980 called The Flindish Ploy of Dr. Fu Manchu. That's
Yeah.
where you started your career in
Yeah.
acting. And then couple of years later, you got to star in Steven Spielberg's Indiana Jones with a very strong cast. And not only were acting in that film, but you were also a trainer. You were also the stunt coordinator of that film. So what was it like working with a director like Steven Spielberg and working on a big set like that?
He's amazing. I was the fight choreographer. Vic Armstrong was the stunt coordinator, but I wasn't working for him. I was working for Steven Spielberg, because I was doing a movie called Greystoke, Tarzan, Lord of the Apes at the time, right? And I was training Christopher Lambert, and they're doing the physical stuff. So he looked like Tarzan. They wanted him to look like a natural gymnast, like climbing trees and all this stuff. So by the time we finished, he was doing like 50 chin-ups. He could do headstand dips, and then he had to learn how to walk like gorillas and stuff. So I had to train him do that. And so during the time, a guy came to see me, and they said, look, the producer wanted to know, like, they're looking for a champion fighter, martial artist, to do his movie. And I said, well, who is this guy? He said, it's Steven. He said, oh, here's Steven. And he introduced himself. And I said, look, I want you to teach this kid, how to fight. And I want you to choreograph some action for him. And I wanted you to teach him English. And I said, who are you? He said, I'm the director. And I said, oh, you're a bit young to be a director. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm young, He said, well, when you finish this, it turned out to be Steven Spielberg. I didn't even know who he was, And so I trained him, and the film became very, very successful, and Greystoke became very successful. So then Steven asked me to do another movie, Empire of the Sun. This time, Christian Bale, right?
Yeah.
So I did that, and I played a small part in that movie as well, and a small part in Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom. So those two movies became very successful. And then come not the third movie. It was like I did a bunch of movies after that and TV show. And then I had a TV show called Elby Market, which I was one of the star of like 20, a cast of like 20. And I was like a soap star. I became in England. It's on ITV. And we had like 11 million views every week, twice a week. And I played a Vietnamese boat person surviving in London, with an accent, a Vietnamese accent. And that was pretty successful. I did that for 2 years. And then came Batman, and I was cast as a goon, Jack Nicholson's goon. And they wanted me to choreograph. Halfway through the movie, they didn't have a lot of action. And John Peters, one day I was really cold, and I was training, and how you boxing and bang, 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 all this stuff, and then, and I was doing flip just for fun, because I was bored and it's cold, and I was fighting this British fighter. He's like 6'2", George, his name is, and he was throwing punches at me. So I said, okay, you want to play? I kicked him in the leg, and I spin hook kick him over his head. I just tapped him over the head, and he went, "What the hell, man? You almost took my head off, Phil. What you doing, man? What are you doing?" I said, "Well, what do you think I'm going to do? You're like 6'2", big dude, And I said, "I'm not going to stand in front of you. I'm going to kick you in the leg, and I'm going to knee you in the face." Because I was doing Taekwondo and Muay Thai at the time. And he goes, "That's cheating, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. You got to only use your hands." I said, "Wow, you can use your hand. I'll use my feet. I'll use my elbow. I don't care, And then the John Peters saw this. He walked over. "Hey, Phil, come here. What was that you did? That was amazing. You did that flip, and then you kicked him in the head. I want that in the movie. All right, give me that shit in the movie." That's what happened. I'm telling you, right? And then I said, "All right, we'll put it in the movie if you want. Talk to the stunt coordinator, and I'll choreograph it, and we worked it out. And then that's when the scene of the two sword came in, and Batman, and me doing flips on Batman and the bell tower. And Batman was one of the most successful. Here comes the superhero. Like that was the time, and it was so successful. And he brought me over, John Peters, to do Tango and Cash
Yeah.
with Stallone and Kurt Russell. So I flew to LA in '89, and he said, "Look, give me some ideas for all action sequence. I love your ideas, and come work for me." So I did. We started working, and then he got into the studio. The Batman was so successful that he became the head of the studio. John Peters and Peter Grubel, and I worked for Sony, and then we started developing Ali, all that kind of, and then Superman, and he would say, work with the writer, I want Superman to do this and do this. And I said, listen, if I'm Superman and I'm indestructible, I'll fly into the building, and we'll fight into the building, and the building's going to fall down, and I'm going to fly back out because I'm indestructible, right? And the superhero is going to be indestructible. He said, man, that's really expensive. I said, that's not my problem. My problem is give you ideas. Your problem is you put up the money.
Yeah.
And he started to go, man, how are we going to do that? At that time, CG or FX was, right? So he's like, man, I don't know. I said, well, that's Superman. He ain't going to be, he's be flying in the air, fighting in the air with martial art, kicking people through a building. That's what Superman's about. Read the cartoon, the comic book, And he goes, man, all right, we'll have to write it in. And he did. He wrote it in, and it became a great success. Then Wild Wild West, and a bunch of other stuff that he developed. When I was around. Anyway, so go ahead.
I mean, you could just continue talking and talking, but as well, because you've had such a long career, you worked with so many great artists and stuff. And I have a short video, I would say, I want to show the audience of all your work you just mentioned and many more. So you ready to watch it, Mr. Tan?
Yes.
All right.
Love it.
Let's do it.
Forgive me for my wrongs, I have just begun.
Yeah.
That was some really good action right there.
It's crazy, right?
Man.
Crazy.
Yeah, like you mentioned Batman, you mentioned Tango and the Cash, you mentioned so many films that were in that clip. So how was the experience working in big sets?
Oh man, it's amazing. You didn't see one of the biggest set I worked on, apart Batman, and then was Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3. You don't see much of that.
Yeah.
But it's because there was a guy called Tom DuPont. He choreographs half the movie, and I choreographed the other bit. And then this sequence in 2 is Pirates of the Caribbean 2. We won Best Action, the World Championship Award. And, he got up and he thanked me, and he just, that was one of the highlights. But the set was amazing. He's like, 2 ships going circling, round and round in a circle. And there were 2 big ships in there. And the set was like the size of a soccer field. You know what I mean? Right? It's just amazing, right? So you don't get that anymore. You know what I mean? The other one was Inception. That was an amazing set.
Oh yeah.
So it was I've been lucky, and then Transformer 4, that was an amazing set. And they built like a whole city, literally a whole city, like Chinatown. But like it's maybe the thing is like half a mile long, maybe a mile long. And it was like a city in Detroit, and it's now looked like China. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
with car chase and fire and dropping in the sky on Transformer 4, and we had to run, and Michael Bay's like, "Don't look up, but car's gonna drop on you, so get close, but don't die." And we're like,
Yeah.
we can't look up, and then there's a water tank over there, and it's coming this way. It's gonna hit you, so get out of the way, or you're gonna die. Everything is like, you're gonna die. You understand? You don't get out of the way, and we're like, if we're gonna get out of here, and like we're here for 2 months, are we gonna be in the hospital or are we gonna be dead? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe we'll come out alive. So being a stuntman or action director, depending on what I'm doing, so it's exciting. I like variety of different things that I'm doing. One week I could be acting. One week I'll be, acting with Stallone or Kurt Russell. Next minute I'll be in, getting a car dropped on me on a Michael Bay show, Transformer 4. Next minute I'm directing Bloodsport 2. I directed Bloodsport 2 and stunt coordinated and choreographed like 38 fight sequences with a bunch of team, one of the top stuntmen in the world, Chastahowski, who's now, we worked together on literally 15 years, on John Wick 1, 2, 3, and David Leitch, who's now the director of Atomic Blonde, and we worked together for about 10 years, and now he's, hiring my son for other movies, like Deadpool 2 and Hobbs and Shaw, and so on. He became, and those two guys become one of the biggest directors in town.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to have their chance. We came from nothing and we built our career all the way up. And my chance is coming, and my son's chance is coming. My son Louis Tan, who's going to be on a show in town, which is 2021, called Mortal Kombat, the reboot. So it's like a $95 million movie for Warner Bros. And he's the star of the show. So everybody's gonna get their chance, in life. Yeah. And it's like God saying, hey, train, work hard, be disciplined. Your chance is coming. Are you ready? That's the thing. If you're not ready, the chance will come back again. It'll go through another circle and wait for you to come back. It could be a year from now, it could be 2 years from now. But everybody has a shot of what they want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no one person is excluded, right? I came from Singapore. When I left Singapore, 60% of the people was on drugs. You go back 50 years later, 50% or 60% of Singapore has a degree in education in whatever they chose to do, and now Singapore is like one of the third richest country in the world. So people cannot tell me, and Singapore at that time when I left was like at the bottom of the totem pole with poverty and drugs and all this stuff. And so with education, it's now one of the third richest country with GDPs like 250,000 per person. That's ridiculous. How is that possible, right? And it's only 6-7 million people. So it shows me every and any country can do it. Bangladesh can do it. Thailand can do it. Whichever country you name, they can't say, well, I can't do it. It's not true. It's not true. You can't limit yourself. You know what I mean? You have to just, work hard. I went to Bangladesh. I loved it. People, I could see that's like Singapore. It's coming up and fast. It's coming fast. People are going to make a lot of money. The country is going to change. It's going to be one of the most prosperous country, in that part of the world soon. I could tell. I could see it already. I could smell it. In the air, the success that is going to come.
So talking about Bangladesh, before we talk about Bangladesh, I have a couple of comments. The audience members actually commented, so I'm going to read them out to you. Some are shown on my phone, and some are shown on my screen. So I'm going to read you the one from the screen first. So Kanailal Majumdar, he's a Bangladeshi, one of my audience members, said, good wishes to artist Philip Tan, enjoying him, though I am not understanding his talking completely for my language barrier. Eid Mubarak to Sahil, love your show so much. Thank you, Mr. Majumdar. It's okay if you don't understand our language barrier, but you can understand what we're talking about through our emotions. And also, Mitu Khan commented, Eid Mubarak on the holy occasion of Eid ul Adha. May the eternal blessings of Allah be given upon us with peace, prosperity, and good health, and to you as well, Philip Tan.
Thank you so much, and to you too.
And then Sajjad Hussain, you know him too. He commented, "Great to see you, sir. Lots of love and respect. Thank you, Sahil, for this great episode. We can learn so much from sir."
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Okay, those are the only comments we had. So talking about Bangladesh a little bit, how was your experience traveling to Bangladesh? Was it a little
I
bit
love it.
different?
No, I love it, man. It's great. I travel with your brother to find, the character for MR9. The lead actor for MR9, and I really enjoyed it. I love Bangladesh, and I love the people. I love the food. It's
Oh yes.
amazing. Yeah, you can't beat that, man. And I love, I could see what's going on, and then I'm glad that we eventually met and cast, ABM. Yeah, I think he's amazing. He's kind of like a Al Pacino, like the young Al Pacino in The
Mm-hmm.
Godfather. That's what he reminds me of when I saw his brown eyes and I saw his acting, and he is definitely for us the guy for the job, And we not question. Steve loved him. I loved him, and he's got a great look. He's got a great body. His acting was amazing and had a lot of depth, And I think the people are gonna be very happy, that we picked this guy.
Yeah. So how did the audition process go while picking ABM Shumon? Like, what was going on?
Well, first of all, a bunch of people that trying out. So they were like a long process. Okay, before we even got there, there were already a competition picking, who's going to be the guy, and they saw thousands and thousands of people, and then they narrowed it down to like 10 people, eventually, and so he's like one of the best, down to the last 10, and he was by far the guy that we felt was the best, for the character and the role that we need, because the Secret Service people have a certain look, and depth and mystery. It's not just, oh, he's good looking and he can speak English. We got him, and he's tall, got the job. It's more than that. There's got to be you got to be some. His performer has to be in, like, you want to see more. I want to see more. I believe in what this guy is doing. I believe that he's a Secret Service, and he is lethal. I believe that. I have to believe it in his acting. I have to believe it in his look, and so it's not as easy. It's not that easy to find a good action actor anywhere in the world. It's not easy. Yeah, so it was a difficult process, but he came out on top every single time for, Asif, the director, and for myself, because I'm going to do a lot of action, and so he has to be able to at least do what we ask him to do, perform, and then after that we had to do some training just to see where he is and how fast he can pick up choreography, and he's really good. You're going to be very happy. I think he's the right guy, and I think he's going to be a very, very big star, in the very near future. As soon as the coronavirus is gone, and we can start filming.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most awaited film in Bangladesh. Especially, it is a Hollywood project, of course, but Masood Rana, aka MR9, is like, children, people grew up reading this. It's like the Bangladeshi James Bond, right? So it's like,
Yes.
people love this and they're really waiting for this, and I'm definitely waiting for it as well. And speaking about waiting about this, Asif Akbar is the director of this film, which is my older brother. So how was it, talking with him about some of your ideas, and like how is he as a director? Like, was it very easy to work with him?
No,
talk with him?
he's great. I've known Asif for a long time now. He's not. I just met him the other day. I've known him a long time. We worked and collaborated on a few movies together already, and yeah, he's going to be like he's the up and coming director, and he's already done a bunch of movies already, and so he's a seasoned director. Even though he's young, he looks young, but he's done a lot of stuff, you know. So I think people are going to be surprised how he really is, and I think this movie is going to showcase how amazing he is, because it's not an easy movie to make, because it's
Yeah.
a very, very, very difficult, a lot of action, we have to do, you know, like I think probably 3 countries we'll end up, you know, going to. So it's not easy, and for the budget that we have, which is very little money for now, but we have to make a big movie with the money that we have. And I think people are going to be surprised. You know what I mean? See, it's easier to do a movie. Oh, you got $20 million, go ahead, do a movie. That's easy. You know, anyone could do
Yeah.
that. But when you don't have a lot of money, you have very little money, and then you have to still go to 3 different countries and make a great action movie, you know, like an Indian James Bond type movie. It's very difficult to do. But yeah, he's amazing. You know, I'm glad that he's the director.
Yeah, I mean, and he's been, you know, I've been growing up by him. Like we have a pretty big age gap, but growing up with him, I've seen, you know, he's very oriented with film stuff. He loves the camera. He loves creating his own ideas and
Yeah.
portraying them on screen. So he's really into this, and he's also been a big Mastodon fan as well. Like he's this is like a dream project for him. Like he's really occupied into this, and I'm really hoping, you know, he can nail this, because this is.
Oh no, he will. No, he's no hoping. He's gonna happen.
Well, I
Believe
have
me,
confidence in him as well,
100%
because
he's gonna
and
happen.
with and I told him, you know, this is actually a blessing in disguise, you know, that we have this COVID right now, because we're working on this, you know, we're working on a lot of things, a lot of new ideas coming in. So, you know, the movies, this, I mean, I'm not going to reveal any details about it, but you know, it's good. It should be good. Whenever you work on a project for a long time, you know, it should be good.
Yeah, and ABM's been training
Oh
nonstop.
yeah,
You know, he's still training. He's still cutting up his body. He's still acting, and he's getting ready. You know, so there's
yeah,
a good time for him to get ready. And
oh yeah.
so it is, like you say, you know, a blessing. And I think, you know, the people in Bangladesh are going to be blessed. You know, believe me, they're
Oh
going to
yeah,
be very proud of
definitely.
this movie.
Hopefully, lines and the whole theater is packed, full house
Oh,
for
believe
the
me,
shows.
I promise you, there will be lines going outside your theater round the block.
Wow,
You
man,
know,
that would be amazing. People
I'm
fighting for
telling
the
you, it's
tickets.
gonna happen.
Yeah, it's
I'm not
gonna be.
joking.
It's
You'll
definitely going to be.
see. You will see. You know, I I don't normally predict, but you know, it's always like on the story. It's always on the character, the script, the
Yeah,
director, the acting director, and they're all coming together. We have some of the best action people in the world that's going to help collaborate and make this movie. Action, stuntman, women, characters. There's a lot of
yeah.
great characters that there's in this movie that's going to blow people away. You know, so I think it's going to be amazing. So I'm excited. You know, I don't
I'm
get
excited too. I think it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a great production, and it's gonna definitely change the Bangladeshi film industry as well a lot.
yeah,
It
definitely. You
can.
know, like I had the experience working with on Koban. You know, with Seth Ali Khan,
Yeah,
with Oberman, and you know, and a bunch of amazing actor from Bollywood, and they were amazing. And I just said, man, these guys work the hardest I've ever seen. You know, I've never seen uh, crew and cast work so hard, like months and months, and they work 20 hours a day. There's no stopping. It's like they're like a machine, or well-oiled machine. They never stop. I've never seen
yeah,
anything like it. You know, I mean, I've been in Hollywood a long time. I've worked in 60 countries. I've been seeing crew from every country, because I've been in so many movies, like 300 over movies, and one of the hardest working crew members cast is the Bollywood crowd. And I'm not
yeah,
saying that because I'm on your show. You know, I'm just telling you people, you know, they never stop. These guys never stop building sets. They never stop moving. They never complain.
yeah,
Everything you tell them to do, they're like, "Yep, we can do it." Yes, and then they do it. You know, you're like, "Wow!" And then like 18 hours later, they're still doing it, and 20 hours later, they're still doing it, and it's day after day after day. They don't have a day off. The
yeah.
Indian crew never have a day off. I said, you guys need to rest one day. No, we got to go.
Yeah,
Amazing.
they're very, they're very like hardworking. They if they want to start something, like they want to finish it right away. It's like it's that like they don't want to like slowly do it. Like you wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, then you go to sleep at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Wake up 2 hours later. It's like they don't have any sleep. They're all over the place. They're
Yeah.
like
No, it's amazing. They
they're
just
like
like
ants.
hardest working, people on this earth. So I'm very happy to be a part of that, and Koban became very, very successful
Oh yes.
in India, and then I went off. I was gonna actually do another show, Queen, about Rani, and that's when I met Tiger. Training. I was working with Tiger's mom, Aisha,
Ooh.
and we were going to do a big, massive movie. And unfortunately, the movie never happened through some creative differences, not from me, from just the directors, and it just didn't happen. But I'm hoping maybe one day we could get that going again and have Tiger either star in that movie or something, because they're going to be like
Yeah.
battles, like with elephants and horses, 10,000 people battling, and based on the true story of Queen Rani. So we never got to do it, but I'm hoping that one day it will happen, And so I saw, I was, we were trained together in the gym. Tiger, I said to his mom, "Why don't you put him in a movie? Your kid's amazing. He's got a great look. He's got a great body. He can do martial art. He's already training since he was young, With a friend of mine, and then we just play. We play with each other, and I said, "This kid's got it, man." And she said, "When he's ready, when he's ready, he'll let me know he wants to be in a movie." And then I think like 2 years later or 3 years later, I see him, in America starring in movies. I was like, yeah, he's doing good, man. Yeah,
Yeah, Tiger, Tiger Shroff is now really popular. Like he had so many films that were box office hits, like his recent film, not Baggy 3, but have you heard about the movie War?
Yes, of course.
Man.
It was really good.
I watched that and I
very,
was
very
like,
good.
wow. Like I had to watch that in the movie theater. Like I begged my parents, like, we gotta go watch this in the theater. Like it's action packed. You got cars coming in like Fast and Furious on ice. It's like I have to watch it. And it was a treat to watch. And Tiger Shroff is one of the best action stars in Bollywood now. And you training with him it's a big deal. It was a big thing. I mean, not only Tiger Shroff, but you work with Sylvester Stallone. You work with Jackie Chan. You worked with Leonardo DiCaprio in the films like Tango and Cash and Inception. So can you tell me more about the film Inception, because you won an award for the best
so like SAG. Look, there was a bunch of us, and we were, in the opening act where all the stuff was falling on us and all this stuff. And we didn't know much about that movie, but we were looking at the set and we were looking at the director directing, and I said, this is going to be really cool, man. This is like really unusual, you know what I mean? And I got to Leonardo DiCaprio shot me in the head and put me down, held me in my hand, put me down, and catch the bullet at the same time. He shot me, catch my head, catch the bullet, and put me down at the same time. No cuts, one take. He's just like boom. I was like, whoa, this guy's like, because if the bullet hit the floor, it would make a noise. So he's a spy, so he can't, like, he's trying to get infiltrate our organization. Yeah. So it was really great. And then we had to, next minute cut. I'm now over here running around with things falling on us, and it was a really unusual movie. And it obviously, when you saw the result, we're all shocked how good it was. And
it was really good. It was a great movie.
It was a great movie. And then with Jackie Chan was amazing. Yeah, working with him.
Crime action thriller, and you won an award for that film. Not only that, you got nominated for you got nominated 3 or 4 times as well for wait, what's the award's name again? I always, it's a Star Screens or something, right? It's not Star Screens, but Screens Actor Guild. My bad. I was mixing it up. Screens Actor Guild. You got nominated.
That's like where all the actors and actresses and stuntmen, it's our peers, nominating us.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good award, because it's like you work with all these people that are like you, and they're nominating you, and then you win. That's a big deal, for us. You know what I mean? It's like our Oscar, kind of thing. Because when the peers are nominating, that's a big deal. So we got award a few times, and then the amazing thing is working with Jackie Chan. I've always been a massive fan of his.
Yeah.
And then I get to work with him and get to fight with him. That was a big deal. And he was amazing. And he goes, "You look like me." I said, "No, no, no. You look like me." "You're funny. You're very funny." And he goes, "Yeah, he's funny." He goes, "So we're fighting." And he says, "Philip, I have this very, very difficult stunts. Can you do this?" So I said, "Show it to me." So he said, "I'm going to take the woman, spin her around, kick you. But there's this thing behind me, like a window. You got to go up in the air. You go through the window like this. And then you got to drop like 10 feet. And then there's a panel sticking out. You got to hit the panel on your head or on your neck and flip over and land 6 feet below." And I said, "Okay, if you miss the panel that's sticking out, you will come straight down, because I'll go through the window like this. I'll come straight down and break my neck." He said, "I don't even know if my boys can do it, but can you do it?" And I said, I looked at it and I go, "Yes, I can do it." He said, "How do I know? How do I know you can do it?" I said, "Because I'm a gymnast." I said, "I'm a national champion gymnast." He goes, "Oh, good. Philip Tan's going to do it." So he said, "Where are you going to land?" I said, "Right here." He said, "Put the camera here." So we did it. And I went through the window like this. So I jumped backwards, I think like 5 feet backwards, go straight through the window like this, come straight down, 6 feet, 8 feet, hit the panel on my neck, and then flip down 6 feet under. So it's a long drop. But if I miss that panel, I will be in hospital with a broken neck. I'll be in a wheelchair. So he said to me, when I finished it, he ran over to me. He picked me up. He goes, "That was amazing. You're a good stuntman." And there was like a little blood coming down my head, because the window broke.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Clean him up. But you're a good stuntman." I said, "Jackie, can you say that on a tape that I'm a good stuntman?" Jackie said, "I'm a good stuntman." Yes. I just won the Oscar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jackie
Jackie Chan.
good stuntman. That's it. I'm good. And he did actually said it in his blog at 2006. He said it. He mentioned my name. He said, "I work with Phil Tan. He's amazing. He can dance." He's like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee can dance. You can dance too. You do gymnastics. You do martial art. You like Bruce Lee. And it was very nice for him to mention me. He didn't have to do that. And then he said, "You want to work for me?" I said, "No, I don't want to work for you for fun. I don't want to work for you." He goes, "Why not? I'm Jackie Chan." I said, "I know who you are." I said, "Why don't you want to work for me?" I said, "Because every single person, your stunt double, they work for you. They work very, very hard, and they my hospital." "Do I want to go in the hospital? No, I don't want to work for you." And he started laughing, But that was a great experience with him.
Yeah, like the stories you shared with us, it looks like Jackie Chan has a really a huge sense of humor.
Yeah, he is exactly how he is in real life. We call him Big Brother because he's our big brother.
Yeah.
And he was like one of my mentor when I grew up watching him. And I said, "Man, this guy can act. He can choreograph. He can be a stunt coordinator. He directs." And I said, "If he can do it, why can't I do it?" Right?
Exactly.
I can do martial art, and I can, do stunts, and I can. At that time, I was young. I was like, I don't know how to. I said, if he can direct, I can direct. So it just takes one person to inspire you, to be like. And then now my kids are doing it. They're acting. They're doing stunts. They're, directing. They're editing. All my kids are able to do all these things because of the inspiration what they see me do, and then what I see Jackie Chan do, and others like him. You know what I mean? And so we gotta be better than especially in Hollywood. You don't get opportunities that easy in Hollywood. So once the opportunity and the door is open, you gotta grab it and you gotta do many things. Otherwise, they won't use you. You know what I mean? So you become a useful man if you can do 5 things, or 6, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you. And I just had a message pop up Let me read it to you. It was Sajjad Hussain. I have to go back to the MR9 topic, but he kind of said he texted me something. He's like, ask Mr. Tan about my audition for MR9.
Sorry, who's this again?
Sajjad Hussain. He's one of the
Oh
characters.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, he was good. Yeah, he was good. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he had some laughing emoji and everything because I mean, it probably was good, right?
No, he's good. Yeah, he's a good dude. I remember
Yeah,
him.
he was
See, I
asking about
remember
it.
him. It's good. You know, because normally you don't remember people, but I remember that one, that guy. You know?
Yeah. But yeah, so talking about your awards you won in Inception and your other work, you working with Jackie Chan and everything. Let's go to your family now. You have four sons, I believe, right, Mr. Tan?
Yeah. So I had Louis Tan,
Yes.
the first one, and then I have Sam Tan. He's going to be on the TV series, and I have Ben Tan. He's actually now editing for commercials, and he's also he acts. But really, he's a amazing music director, and his music directing had ended him on the top 100 music video of the last 10 years.
Wow.
He did Willow Smith last music video, which was amazing that he directed, and with a friend of his, and he's like they have a company together, and so he is going to be one of the best director in the world soon. He's amazing. He's got it. You know, he's only like 20 something years old. Then I have my other son, Evan, who is a photographer, and he is now in 4 galleries, and he's only 20 years old. So, but talking with Louis is like, he did Into the Badland, you know, he did Dens of Thieves, Deadpool 2, and then Wu Assassin, the TV series on Netflix. Watch that one; it's amazing. He did an amazing job. Wu Assassin, and then Into the Badland was like 16 episodes, and Wu Assassin was like, I believe like 12 episodes, and now he's starring in a movie for Warner Brothers, one of the most famous video game, Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
and in total, I think it's like $95 million by the time they spend all the money. It's going to be amazing. The action is going to be amazing. I went on a set to visit him. He flew me all the way, my wife and I, over there to watch him work, and in Australia, and it was amazing. And I was like, wow, this set is insane, beautiful, amazing, and action is amazing. He's going to be massive. He's the lead of the show. It's the first leading role in a movie that he's done, and it tested amazing. So the audience is gonna really love this movie, especially like the video game. It's gonna be like that kind of stuff.
So have you really inspired, like you say your children is related with film oriented stuff, acting, directing, music directors, I mean directors of music videos, photography. So have you really inspired them to go into this field?
No, what I did was, look, with my children, I don't tell them what they want to do. I let them tell me what they want to do. Okay. So I would support it. Obviously, I don't say you have to be in the film industry, because I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of father, mother, in many countries, they're like, you're going to be an accountant, like Asian people, right? You're an accountant. You're going to be a businessman, and you're going to have a degree in science, which is all great. But if the kids don't want to do it,
Exactly.
then you know what happened? They're doing it for you. And once they get their degree, they're going to do something else. Well, I have my friends that have economics degree, and they are now in the film industry. I said, what are you doing in the film? I want to be an actor. What? You went to New York, and you now in debt, like $80,000
Yeah.
after 3-4 years of studying. You got your degree in economics, and now you're going to be an actor. How does that work? Well, my dad wants me to do it, and so he's now got to pay $80,000 off. It's going to take him a long time, and now he's an actor. Now he has to train as an actor. Or people want to do stunts, and they have a degree in psychology. I mean, so I think that it's important that parents support their kids, and whatever they feel that it's what they like to do. Because for me and for my kids, we don't go to work, we go to play. We love
Yeah.
the movies. You know what I mean? Like people go to work. I gotta go to work. Ah, man, I don't want to be there. I gotta be there. I don't want to be there. I need the money. So they're doing it for the money, and they actually hate their life. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of those parents that encourage the kids to do something they don't want to do. So I never talked to them about it. And then they said, I want to do this. I said, okay. I want to do acting classes. I said, okay, I'll take you to acting school. I want to do editing classes. Why? Well, because I could learn how to edit. I said, okay, I'll take you to a school that encourages acting, directing, editing. And Ben already won like Los Angeles Student Film Award 3 years in a row as best directors, and that's not easy to do, to win in Hollywood, right, which is like the film industry of the world. And to win as a student awards is not easy.
Yeah.
He thinks it's just anyone can do it. And I said, no, I said, it's not easy to win. And he's won as either best director or best film, and so on. So Lewis just won, a short film, just acting in it, and they won like 30 awards, including London Film Festival, including LA Film Festival. So it's not easy to win. And because that means the level of his work, and the director that just won with him, it's very high level,
Yeah.
And I encourage people to become who they are, especially the audience in Bangladesh is watching, and become, if they want to be stuntman, then train to be a stuntman. If you want to be an actor, then train to be an actor. You can't I want to be an actor and I'm a natural. Yeah, that may be so, but you still need to train.
Exactly.
And some good teachers in Bangladesh. There's some amazing teachers. So you gotta practice and you gotta train hard, and then your time will come. Your time will come, and people will give it a shot at this game. We're all trying to be as good as we can, and Tiger didn't just come along and become good. He was trained for years with a friend of mine, wushu, kung fu, this and that, since he was young. And then then his time came. He didn't his family's very wealthy. He didn't just sit at home and go, I'm a wealthy guy, I don't want to do nothing. He's trained harder than anybody. I watched hours and hours in the gym, right? Why did he do that? Because he knew his time was coming, right? And he was, and he worked hard, and he's an amazing guy. He's got attitude, he wasn't like, oh, I'm a star, look at me, He was like amazing, just like a normal guy, who worked hard, appreciate everyone around him. So if he could do it, anyone could do it, Don't tell me you can't do it, because I had nothing in Singapore. We're like, I'll sleep on the floor like everybody else, like on these, just on the floor, under me. I slept on someone's. They have that bed, which is like the canvas, and I slept underneath that. Okay, with cockroaches running over me.
Oh,
so
wow.
I know what it's like to have cockroaches run over me and my mouse running over me. Okay, so from having a humble beginning, and now in Hollywood, over 300 movies and counting, shows, you could do it. Just go with what you love, so that when you go to work, it is not work. It is passion. We go to play. Let's have fun. Let's make this movie amazing. Let's, come up with creative ideas to make a film different. Yeah. So those guys that are watching, just be inspired that you could do it. Doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter if you got a job. Okay, you're selling things right now in the street or in a shop or hairdresser. When you go home, instead of going home and go eat, go and train your passion. And then your passion eventually will make you a living.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mr. Ten. I definitely agree with everything you said, and especially when you talked about my culture, in Bangladeshi, the Asian, not Bangladeshi in general, like specifically, but in general, like Asian people. We have this thing, like whenever a baby's born, it's like we have a stamp on them, and we just stamp them. Okay, he's gonna be a doctor. Okay, he's gonna be an engineer. Like, it's very broad-minded thinking, whereas there's so many professions out there, like acting, directing, and I'm so glad that you were not one of those people that forced your children to go into this specific thing, and instead they were inspired by you, really, because they saw your great work and they obviously got influenced because of all the things you did. So they probably went into it as well. Like, for example, if my brother is a film director, right? He's like, I like films. I like films. Like in the future, maybe, if he tells me, or I might ask him, hey, bro, can I be in one of your films, like as a short character or something like that? Because I love films, and he obviously influenced me as well. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
look,
people.
yeah, you gotta, and it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. So right? I know,
Exactly.
like, because my wife is now a producer, and she's reading scripts, and she's been reading script for years, and then make notes, and then now she's become a producer. So
Yeah.
what I'm telling you is this: it doesn't matter if you're a woman. You could be a writer, you could be a producer, you
Exactly.
could be a director, you could be a stunt woman. We don't have stunt women, not many in our, and we have some amazing one now in America, right? Or the stunt women are like amazing, right? Because they
Yeah.
think
Amazing.
sometimes they're better than guys because they don't wear any pads. They're going down the stairs on miniskirt, and they don't, like guys, like we can put a jacket on and we put a pad on our elbow so we don't get hurt. Women, they can't do that. They just have to do it for real,
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang. And then there's a fire burn. They have to put some gel on the skin, but men
Yeah.
covered up. They don't do that. They just do it. Women just get hit by a car, and no pads. I said, how do you guys do that? You're amazing, So just because you're listening, you're a woman, and you can't do this or you can't do that, that's not true. You can do it. You can do
Exactly. And
anything that men
especially.
can do, and
Mhm.
and better. It's just whether
Absolutely.
you want to do it or not. You know what I mean?
I've always mentioned this around people that men probably will be physically stronger than women, of course, but women are mentally stronger than men.
Well, it's they're built differently. They, like, men has
Yeah.
like 20% more muscle than women. It's not they're physically stronger or not stronger.
Yeah.
It's just the muscle. They have less muscle, but they still have muscle. I have
Yeah.
one of my son, sword master, is a world champion. I I I can challenge her with any man. She can do moves that you go, what? How does she has a sword in her hand? She could butterfly twist and land on her feet with a sword in hand. The back somersault with a sword in hand, land and do another flip. You're like, how does this girl just maintain? She's going to be in the movie, by the way, in
Oh.
I'm on 9. You see, I'm gonna. This
Okay.
is a surprise, and she is like insane. She'll go up in the air, and she'll flip in the air with in a circle with a sword in the hand, land and cut your head. You're like, what the hell? How does this? Yeah, yeah. She's already
Ooh,
like
damn.
top stunt double, doing Wonder Woman, and she's a stunt double Wonder Woman, but she's also world sword champion, and she has world martial art champion. So we are bringing in the best people in MR9 into this movie, so that people are going to go, wow, where did you find these people? Yeah, they're from LA, and they are the best of the best.
Hmm.
Not just LA; they come from United States of America,
Yeah.
and we look for people like this. That's why you have
Definitely.
amazing stunts on, like, say, John Wick, right? Because we encourage Chester Housey, David Leach. We used to be like together. There were like 5 of us working, training together. And we would like look on video. Who's the next world champion? Oh, that guy, man. Maybe we can contact that guy, come train with us. We'll make him a stuntman, and then we can use his talent being in the world, freestyle, world martial art champion. You can come work for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, you gotta take talents, and there's many, many talent people in Bangladesh that they should be in a movie, if that's what they
Yeah.
want to do. Yeah, and so I encourage it. Yeah.
So before we end the show, Mr. Ten, I have one last question, and this is specifically about the field you're working in, acting, action directing, stunt coordination, and the stuntman as well. So, what advice would you give to someone that is going in the same field as you?
My advice is this: is work hard. If you want to be an actor, train as an actor. Okay. If you want to be a stuntman, train as a stuntman. Train in many different things. Okay. Train to do martial art. and don't just do one style martial art. Do many style. Like taekwondo, kickboxing, Muay Thai,
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, all kinds of stuff. Train if you're a motorbike. If you're good at motorbike, train car, train gymnastics. Why? Because you might have to get thrown against a wall, and you don't want to get thrown against a wall and land on your head, right? You got to know where you are. Sometimes I do 80 feet high fall. If I don't know anything about gymnastics, I'm gonna land on my head and break my neck and end up in hospital. So train gymnastics, right? So train trampoline, because that gives you awareness in the air, right? So you want to be able to do these things, and then learn about camera. What does the camera see? What lens are we going to use? So then when you're fighting and acting, you know what camera is. So what is the camera capturing? So you're playing for the camera, okay? So you understand, instead of like, oh, I'm just going to throw punches in. Well, what if they're misses? You throw punches at somebody and like this across, and and it's a miss because you don't understand the camera angle, what they're watching and how they're watching it. And you got to understand the technicality of the filmmaking, all-round filmmaking. Okay, some people love sound, so they become engineer. Some people love editing, they become an editor. Okay, some people love acting, like I said, and some people love action movie. So be good at everything, and then keep training, and then the opportunity is going to come where we're casting for the next action star, or we're casting for actors and actresses, or we're casting for stunt people, men or women. So learn weapons fighting, sword, different kind of sword, Indian sword, Japanese sword, Chinese sword. Just be good at everything. And then it becomes useful for us. If I'm making a movie and it's, to do with a car, at least you learn how to drive and do like a 90 or 180, spin the car around, without killing the camera operator that's on the street, or killing an extra. Oh, I drove into the crowd. I lost control. You can't lose control. You lose control, people die.
Exactly.
So you have to practice and be good at all these things. So you got to find, people that train this stuff. And we're in the world of the internet. You can find all this stuff out. You can do classes online. It doesn't have to be like, oh, you're in LA, you're getting all the resources. No, you be in Bangladesh and you could do LA classes, right? You can do it. Study, watch what they're doing, and so make an effort, read, watch movies, watch how they do it. The YouTube has so many things. Whatever you want to learn, you can literally get a basic understanding of what you want to learn on YouTube. Just type it in and then just do your research.
Absolutely.
So the world is like a small place now. It doesn't matter where you live. You're able to get information. We're in the information world. So get information of what you want to do as fast as you can, and just keep on learning and training. That's my advice.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate your advice, and I would just want to add something else to what you said as well. That if you really want to do something, go get it. It's not going to come to you. You have to go earn it. You have to go get it if you really want something. So I just want to tell that to my audience.
I completely agree. I agree with you. You got to go get it. And that is hard work. It's training. It's discipline. And eventually the training, hard work, and discipline is going to put you in a, like I told you earlier, there's a time that God is saying it's your time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, and everybody has a time, and it will happen, and so what I'm saying to you is, when the time comes, are you ready?
Exactly.
If you're not ready, it will come around again, and maybe 6 months from now, a year from now. So be ready. So take it once it comes, and the opportunity will open up. Then you got to walk straight through it with both feet and running. Okay.
Yep.
Not like, oh no, I'm not ready for this. I didn't do any acting classes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what have you been doing for the last year? You said you want to be an actor. You're sitting at home dreaming about being an actor. There's dreamers and there's doers.
Yeah.
Be a doer.
Be a doer. Yeah. It's like preparing for a boxing fight. You can't just go in the ring, because if you just go in the ring and the other guy prepares, he's gonna knock you out in the first 10 seconds. So you have to prepare yourself that okay, I got a big boxing match. I have to go in. I have to learn the basics. I gotta watch his film, how he fights, and this and that. You gotta prepare yourself in any other way, and just like any other field, like acting, directing, editing, stunt coordination, action director, anything. You have to know the basics. You have to do your research, and I
Yeah.
definitely agree with you. And it's a great piece of advice you shared with us, Mr. Tan.
Okay. Fantastic.
Okay, so Mr. Tan, before we end the show, do you have anything else you want to address to the audience or tell the audience?
Um, I would say also, learn how to communicate, to people, because if you're in this business, you're going to be 1 minute talking to directors, producers, stars, right? And your communication got to be good. You have emotion. Your emotion has to be sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like if they don't like something, they're gonna. I don't like it. You don't get upset. So those things are very important to learn. Communication. Be the best you can be.
yeah,
We're not human robots. We're human being. So we have a lot of emotion, and we can do anything that Almighty God gave us talent, right? It's
yeah,
already inside of you. You just got to get it out of you, and you got to get it out and home in on it. Okay, there are people out there that can, that is amazing with science, and they're gonna find a cure for the virus that we have now. And
yeah.
if that's what they're passionate at, then they should do that. But there's other people that want to be in the film industry, and they should pursue it. But you can't just pursue it and go, well, I don't have a job, and relying on your mom and dad for money. It's not going to work because they're not going to give you the money. So you have to go make a living, and then you have to pursue your passion. And once your passion starts making you money, and it will make you a lot of money, and your parents are going to be very happy that you're pursuing that, because you'll be like, Mom and Dad, here's some money for you. I just made a ton of money. You're like, and they're like, what? How much you make? I made more money than you've earned in a whole year in one movie. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, but that's gonna come later, as you pursue your passion, and as you um, uh, home in on your craft, and that as you become a good communicator, or a good writer, whatever your passion is, you can do it. I just want to tell you, do not say, well, I'm in Bangladesh, or I'm in India, or I'm in Singapore, we don't have the opportunity. That is not true. You have as many opportunities as everybody else. Okay.
Exactly.
And like if we cast ABM, if ABM wasn't ready as an actor, we wouldn't have cast him. He had to be ready, and he's a mature, ready, and he's already done a bunch of movies, and he's homing on his craft. He's not staying at home getting fat in the coronavirus. He's training a few hours a day as we speak, and then nobody's making him do it. He's doing it himself.
Exactly, because he wants it.
He's on lockdown right now, so he's like, doing weights or whatever he can get his hand on, and practicing shadowboxing, and right. So
because he got it, he got his mind locked in to the goal. I have to portray the biggest character in Bangladesh film industry, probably in the history, MR9. So he's like, I got this pressure. Mr. Tan giving me all this work. I have to keep myself prepared. So once this pandemic ends and we go on the set, lights, camera, action, boom, there he goes.
Yeah.
So he needs to prepare for
it. I just turned 60 last week, and I can still run up the wall and do a backflip. I can still fight. I can still do side somersault. I can still box, kick, do gymnastics, dance. I still do all the stuff. I can't do double back somersault. I used to double with my body dead straight, double, right?
Yeah.
Straight. And I can't do triple twist, back somersault, triple twist, but you know what? I can do a back somersault.
Yeah.
And if I can do it and I'm 60, what's your excuse?
Exactly. Exactly.
Excuse, right? See what I'm saying? I still train. I'm still, box. Mm-hmm. I run 2 miles yesterday. What I'm saying to you is there's no stopping you. This
Definitely.
old man can do it. You can do it. There's no excuse. All right.
Definitely.
So I encourage you. All right.
You say you just turned 60 last week. I mean, I still don't believe that you're 60. I think you're a lot younger than that. I honestly say. Honestly speaking.
People do say that. They said to me, "Look, you look like 45, and I still
Exactly.
go for roles for 45-year-olds. I go in there and I'm like, okay, I'm at least 10 to 15 years older than everybody. So it's funny, but it's
Yeah.
true. You know what I mean? So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to get this job. They're looking for 45-year-old, and they go, no, you look 45, 50. I'm like, okay. So, and then I ended up getting the job. So, but anyway.
Yeah, Mr. Tan. It was
All
thank
right.
you
Take
for
care, man.
coming on my show, Mr. Tan. It really means a lot. We had a great time. We talked about so many things, and I'm really excited to see your work in MR9 in the future, and a lot more other projects besides MR9. Working on so many global films in Bollywood, Hollywood, Dollywood, and all the other industries.
Yeah. So I say to your audience, come and watch our show MR9 when it comes out, and go watch my son Mortal Kombat when it comes out.
Yes.
And we are developing, Asif and I, developing shows, action shows with different good actors, and that is going to be something that we're working on. And when the right time comes, I'll come back on the show again and tell you what's going on with his show. That
Yes,
we're developing.
definitely.
So I'm excited. We got like 5 or 6 shows that we're developing. That's going to happen soon. As soon as the lockdown is over, and I speak blessing over your people in Bangladesh, India, whoever's watching,
Yeah.
and may God bless you, and keep you, and peace be upon you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Tan. So you can just press the leave studio button and I'll catch up with you after the show.
All right, take care. Bye bye.
All right, Mr. Tan. Bye bye. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. You can obviously catch this show right after I press the in broadcast button. But before I press the in broadcast button, I just wanted to say thank you to you guys. Eid Mubarak. I know a lot of you couldn't watch it, but you guys will be watching it after the celebrations. So, talking about my next guest. Before I talk about my next guest, actually, I want to talk about. I want to summarize what we all talked about in this last 1 hour 20 minutes. So basically, we started the show with his childhood, then we kind of transitioned into talking about his career, and then we also showed a 3-minute video of all his work, where he's working Batman, Tango and Cash, and etc. etc. If I go on and on and on, it's gonna take me the whole day, and it's Eid today, so I want to eat some good food, work out, and have a great time. So without wasting any more time, just watch this show if you missed anything. You will get everything you want or you need to watch on it. And talking about my next show, my next guest is gonna be. Well, actually, I'll post it. I mean, I know who's gonna be my next guest, but I'll give you guys an update and I'll post it on my page. But in order to do that, you gotta go follow and like Sahil's live show. And until then, shobai bhalo thako, shobai shusto thako, Eid Mubarak. Once again, I repetitively said it. I don't know why, 1,000 times. But yes, this is Sahil Akbar saying goodbye.